What are you protesting against?
We are protesting three things, basically. The mandates, so people still have their choice. If they want to get the vaccination or to wear a mask, that's their choice. But for the government to ram that down our throats and against our will, that's not what a democracy is. That's not what's right. That's against our will. Secondly, free travel. Not to have a bus ride for free. I don't mean it that way. I mean being allowed to travel anywhere freely without this ArriveCan app, all that stuff. Don't want that. We don't want digital. That is on our way to communism. We're not going to do that.
I came out because I don't like the fact that Trudeau keeps threatening us to put in more restrictions to take our freedoms away. We're almost 3 years into this thing, and I thought that we had already kind of gotten away from it. COVID's not going to go away. I think most people agree that it's just endemic at this point. It's going to be the next thing. So the idea that Trudeau comes out a few weeks ago and he says, if 80 to 90% of Canadians aren't boosted, we're going to start taking freedoms away again. Like no, dude. Like you did this before. We had a convoy. If you want to do it again, you're probably going to get another convoy, and you're going to have nobody but yourself to blame. So yeah, I'm just there to show support because I really don't like the idea of forcing people to have to get vaccinated. I myself am vaccinated, but I don't think that should be something that is forced, foisted upon you. I made that choice myself.
To be honest, I'm here to support Constable Erin Howard. She's a police officer who spoke up for the rights of all Canadians to protest peacefully, including the truckers. She's been reprimanded with 6 different charges for simply posting a video in uniform speaking about the rights of Canadians, including the truckers, to peacefully protest in Canada. And I have a big issue with this. Yeah, buddy! So as you can see, there's actually a lot of support. This is the fringe minority of racists Trudeau talks about. But I have a big problem with Erin Howard being charged. Some people try to argue that, she was in uniform and every police officer is supposed to say neutral on a social political matter, which, I see that point of view, but we just have to ignore all of 2020 when every police chief across this country kneeled and raised their fists for a social political movement in Black Lives Matter. So whether you agree with their movement or not, I'm not here for that. I believe everybody has the right to peacefully protest. But my issue is those with power clearly have a voice within our country, while those with less power are reprimanded for having a voice. So to be honest, that's why I'm out here. After I saw what happened to her is when I decided to take action. When I saw what happened to the most peaceful sit-in in human history to the truckers, my question is to anyone who thinks it was unsavory people, how many days did you spend there? It was the greatest experience of my life, but that's why I'm here. Long story, but that's why I'm here.
If I was to say why I was here, it was just for the sake that I've chosen to be unvaccinated due to my medical status, and I believe if I was to look at the list now, I'm probably on one of the many lists that say you shouldn't. So it's just after knowing all the pushing and all the prying that was being brought onto us, and seeing how when I got out of my own shell and got out of my own place and realized how much more it was affecting the outside world, right? Closed in your own little space, you don't really see what's actually going on. But when you get out there and you see what's happening to the rest of the world and how it's affecting everyone else, it makes you realize you got to stand up. And you can't just sit down and just watch the world go down the shitter.
Ultimately here to protest the globalist new world order, because with this whole COVID mandates with the masks and lockdowns and the vaccine passports, that was all just evidence. That was all just symptoms of a bigger issue, which is the new world order and the the globalist takeover, and they operate under numerous principalities, such as something called scientism. So I just want to talk a little bit about scientism, which we see in this pamphlet here called Who's Been Fooling You? And it shows a picture of a scientist worshiping a chemical symbol. And right here it says, Manitoba Chief Justice rules public health officials shouldn't be second guessed. So that completely goes against the true traditional scientific method, because traditionally science had to be verifiable, falsifiable, testable, repeatable, and observable. But instead we were, locked down under the guise of trust the experts. So which goes against the science model, but it really was just evidence of programming. So what they do with the programming is that they condition the people to accept certain things, so like where they'll say jump, and it's like the only response is how high. It's like that.
Many people in Canada think we're past all of the COVID regulations. What do you think still needs to be done for Canadians to be free?
Just keep making those connections, try to keep meeting like-minded people, try to keep getting the message across that like this is not okay. Like you can't just take away our freedoms on a whim because you decided to. Like everything they did with Camaro Lease, like that was just like horrifying. Like
Every individual has the right to choose. I believe in minority rights. The smallest minority in this world is the individual. So anybody who does not stand for individual rights truly doesn't stand for minority rights. They stand for group rights.
Right now, even though the provincial mandates may have been gone, we have to remember they were dropped for the wrong reasons. They were dropped because the TV doctors said so, not because the government was repentant or because the government realized they were wrong. They just did it because the doctors said so.
We need to get rid of the government that we have, replace it with, hopefully, Polyev will win it in the next election, and then we're going to start to see.
Somehow, some way, we just need to get more of a consciousness to the people who basically are the ones who don't vote. Because if we can get the non-voters to vote, then that could change a lot of things.
How long are you willing to keep coming to these rallies and protests?
It needs to be sealed within some form of legal document that this type of garbage can't happen again.
As long as it takes. We started in the dead of winter. It was 20 below and we came out regularly. We'll do it again.
How long are you willing to continue to come out to these rallies and protests for?
As long as it takes. Right? It's not like I got anything else to do on a Saturday, and this is absolutely the best thing to do if this is what needs to be done.
If I have to be in my senior years and lead people with a walking stick, I'll do that.
How do you think the Canadian freedom movement has changed things so far?
Well, I mean, 2 weeks after the truckers were kicked out, the mandates in Ontario dropped. Now you've seen 7 days of hashtag Trudeau must go, and the federal mandates are starting to drop.
It's waking people up.
And do you have any other thoughts about, the freedom movement and so on?
Not much, other than it's just glad to see that it happened. And seeing that it's been this way since March of 2020 was unbelievable. And then when February hit with the truckers and that just took it to the next level. So now it's just like seeing all the activity that's going on around the world that was inspired by this is just giving more hope that things are going to get better.
At the end of the day, anybody can be naive if they want and say, oh, it's just time. But you can only have so many coincidences over and over and over again before it's no longer a coincidence.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add to any of
Yes,
this?
please. So on October 17th and 18th, Constable Erin Howard will be in court for a motion. Not exactly sure what the motion is, but she's in court those 2 days. That's October 17th and 18th at 605 Roslyn Road East in Whitby. That is the corner of Garden and Roslyn, which is the Whitby courthouses. So every time she's had a court case, we all, meet up there, fly our flags, honk our horns, and then after each one of her past cases have been remanded. So after that, I put together a well-organized convoy where we all stay together. I don't care if we stop at green lights. We do not lose anyone because we move as one. Then we end up down at a local park where I get a permit, and I generally buy pizza lunch for everybody who shows up. So everybody, please come on October 17th, October 18th. Whitby Courthouse, 605 Roslyn Road East, Garden and Roslyn Corner. Come support Constable Erin Howard. She's the only cop I know of worthy of the uniform.
What time does that happen?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we usually get there between 8:30 and 9. The courts open at 9, so generally we get there between 8:30 and 9. So far, all her cases have been remanded.
Are we just protesting Trudeau? The issue goes deeper than that, because Trudeau, if he resigns, he's replaceable. If he resigns, they'll just bring up another globalist,